Hello and welcome everyone to our 5th annual Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. We apologize for the delay. We were having some satellite connection issues, but we're here and we're ready and we're excited to host our first live streamed event. Again, my name is Alex Perla. I've been working in the field of drug and alcohol for the past 11 years as the Director of Admissions for Jade Wellness Center and Journey Healthcare, and I'm honored to be here with you tonight as one of your MCs. Now alongside me, I have my great friend, Curtis Upshur.
Hey, Alex, how you doing, man? I'm glad to be here too. I've been working in the mental health field until most recently I'm retired, so to speak, and I'm really glad to be here. One of my area of interest was drug and alcohol for many years. It still is one of my concerns and interests. And my name is Kurt Upshur, and I will also be co-emceeing with Alex tonight. And I'm really happy and I'm glad to be here. And I hope you are too. We have some exciting things and new things. We're virtual this year. We're not outside walking, but this is an exciting new thing to do. So welcome everyone.
And I'm excited to be here with you too, Curtis. First and foremost, I want to wish everyone a happy Recovery Month. September is when we celebrate the possibility and the reality of recovery from addiction and other mental health disorders. It's important to recognize your stories, the struggles, and your success. And that's what we're doing here tonight.
Absolutely. And you know what? We would love to know where you are tuned in from tonight. Where are you at? What are you doing? What are you doing for your virtual walk this evening? So why don't you just tell us? Let us know where you're located. You can tweet us. You can share a message on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, or you can email us at info at pittsburghrecoverywalk.org. And let me just say that again. It's at info at pghrecoverywalk.org. We want to share your reactions on social media all night long, and we're going to post them and show them. So keep sending us your thoughts. We're looking forward to it, and I'll be looking forward to seeing your post.
That's right. We would also like to know if you did a recovery walk today or sometime earlier this month. As you know, our theme this year is My Road PGH, and we really wanted to encourage you to go on your own personal walks to honor your story. So tell us what you did. Tell us where you walked. Who did you walk with? Did you walk in memory of someone? Did you take any photos or videos? Again, you can share all those videos and photos with us on the social media using the hashtag MyRoadPGH or emailing us at info@pghrecoverywalk.org. We have a great show for you tonight. But before we get started, I would like to take a moment to reflect on the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and how it has grown over these past years and what it means to me. The purpose of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk is to celebrate all roads to recovery and to break and fight the stigma of addiction that we face in addiction, and to illuminate resources in our community that may help us in the recovery process. I've been a part of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk now for the past 3 years and sat in the steering committee and helping planning the event. And to celebrate and get together with our community and discuss these very hard topics of treating addiction and breaking these stigmas and letting people know that it's okay and that it's okay, and there's a lot of resources out there for you. And Kurt, I know you were involved in formatting this event as well. Do you remember what the walk was like for you?
You know what, Alec? To tell you the truth, I've been around for a long, long time. And I was involved along with a lot of my other colleagues from a number of different areas and sources. I worked at community care behavioral health through UPMC. And one of the things that I can recall is that when Jessica Williams first suggested this idea to me and invited me to sit on the planning committee and to invite community care to be involved as well, I was wondering, how would this work? It seemed like so many moving parts, and we wanted to make sure we were inclusive and that many different aspects of the community, recovery support community were involved. And we contacted a number of different people. We had a number of meetings and from diverse groups, lots of discussions, some disagreements, some different points of view, but it all led out to that thing that you mentioned earlier. Many different roads, paths, streets, highways, and journeys to recovery. And so my feeling to me was that I was glad to be a part of something that celebrates recovery and it proves that recovery actually does happen and works. And it works because we support one another and we wanted the system of care to be a part of that. And that was where my role was when I was at community care. So I was glad to be there then, and I'm glad to be here tonight, virtually walking with you.
That's right, and we have a really great show for you tonight. We're going to celebrate our 2020 Pittsburgh Recovery Award winners. We're going to have 3 wonderful speakers and a virtual resource fair. We're going to show you photos of the folks who went out and walked this month. But first, we're going to start tonight's event with a little bit of music. Get things going. Tonight, we have Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors. Some of you may remember Jim Donovan from a couple years back when he played live at Market Square. Jim Donovan is a former member of the band Rusted Root and a longtime recovery supporter who has worked with many addiction treatment programs to help them provide music therapy, drum circles for their clients. So we encourage you to sit back and relax or stand up and put on your dancing shoes and enjoy a little bit of music from our band. And please keep telling us why you walk and where you're watching from, and use that hashtag MyRoadPGH and share that on social media. Without further ado, here's our musical entertainment, Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors.
There you are, naked and plain view. Here I am, where you are. Tell me this love is enough. Here I am, there you are. Oh, I got a fade around now, from my spine to the top of my head. And you feeling, and I'm worried I must not walk again. Oh, when your eye moving to me, then I know I'm you. Ah, this is real, and the fire might burn no place now. Here I am, where you are, naked and plain. Here I am, where you are. Tell me this love is enough. Here I am, where you are, all around us. I am where you
And you know what, Alex? I remember listening to Jim and that great band down at Market Square, and he was rocking the square. Let me tell you, he had everybody up dancing. And you can check Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors out on Facebook. They haven't gotten a chance to play together much this year because of the COVID-19, but they are always looking for socially distanced opportunities to perform. So you know what? They may be able to perform for you if you contact them. So we encourage you to follow them on social media to hear more of their music. They really do rock. We're going to hear one more song now, so please enjoy.
Oh, now let's begin this. Come to my side. Oh, I got key, sing back to me. Stay in recovery. Your heart is my key and my key, sing back to me. Ooh la la la, hey mama, hey la. Your heart is my key and my key, sing back to me. Whoa, ooh la la la, hey mama, my head.
And there's no better way to start this event with a little bit of music. And again, you can support Jim Donovan and his band on social media and on their website. And the good news is, Jim Donovan will be back later with us during the program. Now, we want to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors who have made this event possible.
Hey, you know, Alec, in addition to all of that positive energy, and it reminded me many, many years ago in a place far, far away, I actually played in a band in high school, and I played bongos and congos. And watching Jim Donovan made me really want to think about those old days. But it gives, in addition to the positive energy that his music provides to tonight's event, this event is also sponsored by generous sponsors. And I want to say something about the presentation and the sponsorship by UPMC, UPMC Health Plan, and UPMC Community Care. With their generous support, we were able to produce this live stream, mail out t-shirts, recruit speakers, and also to make sure everything is free to those of you who are supportive of this event and for recovery, and that it be open totally to the public. Inclusivity is a huge value of the Recovery Walk and also of the recovery movement and a recovery support system. And our sponsors help make it inclusive by supporting the event so that it has been and is free to all of you.
That's right, Kurt. And we also have to thank our community sponsors who have supported this walk, as well as all the individual donors. You all make this possible, and we thank you very much. Now, I want to introduce a big supporter of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk, the Pennsylvania Secretary of Drug and Alcohol Programs, Jennifer Smith. Some of you may remember Jen Smith from previous recovery walks, where she was dancing, having a blast, singing, and celebrating with all of us. Jennifer Smith is a powerful advocate for the people who have been impacted by addiction in Pennsylvania. So here she is, Secretary Jennifer Smith.
Hello, I'm Jen Smith, Secretary for Pennsylvania's Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs. Thank you for having me, and thank you for joining today in virtual celebration recognizing September as the 31st Annual National Recovery Month. This year's theme is Join the Voices for Recovery, celebrating connections. Connections. That word certainly carries more meaning these days, doesn't it? Years from now, history books will probably detail the year 2020 as difficult, divisive, disruptive, and perhaps even devastating. We have faced challenges that none of us could have imagined, and at times, it has felt like we may never find a way out of these circumstances. As fall approaches, many are struggling to make decisions about schooling and whether to cancel community events and concerts. But thankfully, for the drug and alcohol community, the arrival of September is welcome. September is a month full of hope, advocacy, and change. Today, I'm calling on each of you to be the change. Let's work together to improve perceptions and attitudes about individuals with substance use disorder. You can make a difference by proudly sharing your stories, encouraging others who are struggling, and modeling positive behavior in your neighborhoods and communities. There has never been a more important time to remain connected to those around you. Check in on your loved ones and neighbors. Be supportive of one another. Together, Pennsylvania will recover from the events of 2020. I know this because the drug and alcohol community is a group that believes in recovery and resilience. This community has weathered many storms, epidemics, and crises together. And still, we are some of the lucky few who see recovery in action every day. So today, and throughout the month of September, we reflect and celebrate each of you, your strength, tenacity, and determination to overcome even the darkest of days. Together, connected, we will overcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Smith. And you know, if I was Oprah, I would say, and you are connected, and you are connected, and you are connected, and we all can be connected. So the importance that Secretary Smith was saying about connection is really an issue in recovery. We support ourselves, we support our loved ones, we support those who are in recovery, particularly during the difficult time right now with the COVID-19 pandemic. It's difficult for us to get together face to face, but there are a lot of interesting and novel new ways we connect. We hope that this event helps you realize that we can do things virtually like this recovery walk. You can also help people feel connected as well. But we would also like to hear from you on social media about connection. Hey, how are you staying connected these days with each other? How are you staying connected with those in recovery? How are you supporting those in recovery, even if you can't be together with them and see them face to face? How are you supporting your health and your recovery? Hey, tweet us, Facebook us, Snapchat, Face Chat, email us. I'm an old boomer. Whatever it is that you guys do nowadays, and for those of you who are adept with the computer, you know the drill. Let us know what's happening. Now, what I'd like to do is to welcome the Pennsylvania Secretary of Corrections, Mr. John Wetzel, to our program. A lot of us know, particularly those in recovery and those who have worked in the field, that the criminal justice system can have a big impact and effect on how someone's recovery goes, how difficult it is, how easy it could be, and what are some of the challenges for those folks who have been involved with the criminal justice system. Secretary Wetzel has recognized this issue and these needs and feels that we can do a better job in prisons and jails all over the state of Pennsylvania. And he has this message of support for our recovery walk. Secretary Wetzel?
I'm John Wetzel. I'm Secretary of Corrections for the state of Pennsylvania. I've been in this position for 9.5 years. And it's my honor to just take a couple minutes and just recognize the recovery walk and the importance of the notion that recovery is not only possible, but likely when we put folks in the right circumstances. You know, unfortunately, in America, we often look at behavioral health issues like addiction and mental illness through a criminal justice lens. So as the Secretary of Corrections, I will tell you that 3/4 of my population are suffering through some issues around addiction, 1/3 of my population suffering with issues around mental health. But the best part of my job is not focusing on what people don't have. It's focusing on who people can become. So often in systems like ours, we really focus on what you did and what you did 5 years ago and what you did 10 years ago and try to define you by that or define you by some term. And the reality is you as an individual have the opportunity to define yourself, and that's critical. But we as a system have a responsibility to try to help you see who you can become and help walk with you on that path. And I think that message resonates with all of us. So again, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I appreciate the hard work, and I also appreciate how we're all in this together, and how events like this are really important to acknowledge that we're not alone, and no one has to be alone as we struggle to be the best version of us every day. So thank you and good luck.
Thank you for joining us, Secretary Wetzel. And I think it's a great message that you and Jen Smith and even Curtis mentioned, that we do need to review change and work to improve ourselves and how we can be better from all areas to help substance use disorder. Now it's time to recognize our 2020 Pittsburgh Recovery Award winners. Presenting these awards is Pittsburgh City Councilor Bruce Kraus, who helped originally launch the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk in 2016. Bruce is a person in long-term recovery and has dedicated his life to public service. Bruce, I'll turn it over to you.
So, thank you for that very kind and generous introduction. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Recovery Month. Tonight, I want to thank you for joining us for the 5th annual Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. This event, once again, is entirely funded by our generous sponsors. And once again, this year's walk is presented by UPMC, UPMC Health Plan, and UPMC Community Care. We thank you sincerely for your support of recovery in Southwest Pennsylvania. And thanks also to our community sponsors, many of whom are joining us this evening. And a big thank you to all of the volunteers that have made this walk possible. This event is completely organized by volunteers, and we cannot thank you enough for your time and your dedication.
And Bruce, you've done so much yourself to make this event a reality. Can you tell us a little bit about your story and what this walk means to you?
Yes, thank you. The walk is an accumulation of a lot of years of sincere soul searching, of active participation in recovery, and enjoying the benefits of living a life that is happy, sober, and free. I have been blessed to live my life in recovery since the 9th of July, 1988, and in those 30 years have seen very generous changes come to recovery, to what it means to be in recovery, and to break free of the shackles of stigma, of what it means to be recovering, and to be able to take our message to the streets and walk openly and proudly to talk about hope and what it means to the tens of millions of people that suffer with substance use disorders, and to share the message that there is hope, and that you too can live a life that is happy, sober, and free.
Bruce, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about your personal significance of the walk in your life. And you've always done so much to support the Recovery Walk, especially in past years. So let's have a look at those past years and see some photos when we were able when we were able before to come together and be as one. So let's all take a look down memory lane.
Hey, man, it was great to see some of those photos. I remember being there and looking at some of those handsome, good looking folks stepping proudly, stepping sprightly to the beat of recovery, and all in support of one another, and the city being in support of recovery as well. Bruce, I really think it's time to honor our Recovery Award winners. And at this point in time, please, you do the honors.
And now, I am proud and pleased to recognize our three amazing recovery supporters in our region. As many of you know, we opened up nominations for the Pittsburgh Recovery Awards this summer and received a number of outstanding nominations. These three winners received the highest scores from our scoring committee, and we will be honoring them this evening. Our first award is for our recovery advocate. This is the person who has worked to change policy or public opinion about addiction and recovery. The 2020 Recovery Advocate Award is gifted this evening to Lori Johnston Wade. Let me tell you a little bit about Lori's journey. Lori Johnston Wade is the co-founder of Lost Dreams Awakening, which is better known as LDA, a recovery community organization in New Kensington and a leader in Western Pennsylvania and beyond. Lori recognized the need for a supportive organization within her community, and so in 2014, Lori and her husband, Von Zell, made the bold decision to create LDA. And since then, the National Advocacy Organization, Faces and Voices of Recovery, has pointed to LDA as a leader in its field. In 2017, Lori was invited to the White House to advise the director of the Office of National Drug Control Policy on the importance of peer recovery support. LDA strives to address the whole person and as such offers recovery meetings, family support, peer recovery support, education and empowerment, and a positive gathering space for anyone who has been impacted by substance use disorder. LDA has placed a huge emphasis on the family unit and has made it a priority to provide support to families who have lost loved ones to overdose. Lori was nominated by her colleagues at LDA, who simply said, Lori thinks outside the box and she honors and welcomes all pathways to recovery. Another person put it more simply and said, Lori just gets it done. So Lori, on behalf of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and in my role as a member of Pittsburgh City Council, it is my honor to recognize you for your recovery advocacy, and please accept this proclamation from Pittsburgh City Council that recognizes your extraordinary efforts. And now I would like to invite you to say a few words tonight on the live stream.
Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bruce, for that wonderful introduction and for accurately talking about Lost Dreams Awakening that makes things possible, not only for myself, a woman in long-term recovery, and what that means to me is I haven't found it necessary to have anything since May 30th of 1991. I am entering my 30th year of recovery. I'm working on my 30th year. Yay. And I must say, I stand on the shoulders of great people who came before me. You know, I am the great, great, great granddaughter of slaves. And so for me to receive such an award is a huge tribute to my ancestors. So I thank God for that, the God of my understanding. I thank Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and the committee. I would be remiss not to mention one of the catalysts, Miss Robin Horston Spencer of Message Carriers, who I used to attend her walks in Pittsburgh, and the work that she has done in the investment she's made in us as a recovery community organization. My husband, Dr. Bonzel Wade, and having a good co-founder really helps. I am I would say, fierce advocate for recovery. And I like the fact that we do authentic recovery support services and that we embrace the families in multiple pathways. I am just thrilled. I'm thrilled for my city, New Kensington. Recovery does happen here, contrary to what people may believe. We're living proof. We're living proof. So I am just so honored. And to all my Jewish brothers and sisters, Happy New Year and Happy Recovery Month.
Thank you, Lori. Our second award this evening is for our recovery caregiver. This is the person who provides outstanding direct care to people suffering with addiction and seeking recovery. The 2020 Recovery Caregiver Award is gifted this evening to Mr. George Jones. And let me take a moment to tell you a bit about George's journey. George is the co-founder of an outpatient mental health practice who has had both a personal and a professional commitment to helping people with substance use disorders for now over 25 years. George is committed to reducing health disparities in the African American communities, and in 2014, he and his wife Sharon opened a clinic in East Liberty because they saw a lack of culturally competent behavioral health care and the need for services that address the impact of trauma. Now, their private practice offers a buffet of services to individuals, couples, and families, while George continues to serve as the clinical director of an inpatient addiction treatment facility as his day job. Despite the fact that George has risen to a leadership role within the addiction treatment field, he remains dedicated to providing direct care to people with substance use disorder. He continues to facilitate groups, engage clients, provide linkages to other services, and helps people integrate into 12-step communities. George's colleagues at G&S Counseling Services nominated him by saying, "He is in the trenches with people living with health disparities, and he goes above and beyond to meet their needs." So, now George, on behalf of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and in my role as a member of Pittsburgh City Council, I want to thank you for your recovery service, and please accept this proclamation from Pittsburgh City Council that recognizes your extraordinary efforts. We would like now to invite you to say a few words to those that have joined us this evening on the live stream.
You guys hear me? Yes, it's an honor and privilege to accept this prestigious award. Yes, I have been in the trenches for the past 30 years. I'm in long-term recovery as well. Congratulations, Lori. We've been trudging along for many years together, her and her husband. And I want to thank my wife for always lifting me up when I wanted to lay down. She's always been an encouragement. She's been my backbone, my greatest support. I've been working in the field of substance abuse disorders for the past 25 years. One of the greatest things that we do, and I tell people all the time, we don't fix people, we plant seeds of hope, we give them encouragement, we give them compassion, we give them understanding. And the greatest thing I've been able to do for the past 29 plus years is this model of what recovery looks like. I come to work every day, I'm cleaned up, my clothes are clean, I come on time, and I work over, and I'm there to listen. That's what we do. We model of what recovery looks like. And it's, as Lori said, is as a result of my predecessors, the people that was here before me, that paved the way and showed me that was possible. For that, I'm eternally grateful. You know, it's always an honor and a privilege to receive some of the benefits of the hard work. You know, the greatest thing that I've learned about this is when I go to the mall and I see somebody healthy, that I don't remember them, but they remember me. And they remember something that I imparted inside of them. And I tell people all the time, we're like Johnny Appleseed. We just plant seeds and we keep it moving and hope that they grow fruit later. And I see the fruit of our labor in 12-step meetings, 12-step conventions, malls, stores, people blowing the horn. You know, we lose a few, but we save a lot along the way. Sometimes this job that we do feels like we're not getting the job done, but seeds have to be rained on, you know, a little sunshine, a little downtrodden for a while, and they spring forth. And I'm real grateful that I know that my job is just to instill some hope in people, model what it looks like, and continue to move forward for myself. It's an honor and a privilege to receive this reward, and I'm going to keep doing what I do because I like what it's done for me and I like what it's done for others. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And now, our third and final award of this evening is for our Recovery Pathway Supporter. This is a person who has worked to broaden the range of recovery pathways available here in the greater Pittsburgh area. The 2020 Recovery Pathway Supporter Award is gifted tonight to Mr. Brian Knuckles. And once again, let me tell you a little more about Brian's journey. Brian Knuckles is a local coordinator for Smart Recovery who has been facilitating Smart Recovery meetings in Pittsburgh now for over 2 years. In 2018, Brian developed a partnership with the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh's West End branch to help with the introduction of Smart Recovery into the West End community. Not only did he use the library as a meeting location, he also worked with the library to ensure that a diverse selection of recovery-themed books were available for loan, which benefited Smart Recovery members and the community at large. After 1 year, there were more than 2 in-person meetings per week, and less than 2 years later, Brian has grown Smart Recovery to 4 weekly meetings. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, Brian led the effort to transition to online meetings, which actually increased participation in Smart Recovery and helped prevent isolation, anxiety, and other mental health problems. Brian was nominated by members of the recovery community that he has helped build, who said, Brian's innovation and tech savviness helped ease the burden of mental health concerns within our community. And so now, Brian, on behalf of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and in my role as a member of Pittsburgh City Council, I want to thank you for your recovery pathways, and please accept this proclamation from Pittsburgh City Council that recognizes your extraordinary efforts. And now I would like to invite you too, Brian, to say a few words to those who have joined us tonight on the live stream.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Councilman Kraus, and also to our wonderful MCs and Jess and everyone behind the scenes who's putting on this incredible event. It's an absolute a privilege and an honor to be here with y'all. And I just want to recognize my fellow award recipients, George and Laurie. It's such an honor. And then also I was reading through the previous award winners. It's almost overwhelming to be recognized with y'all. And so thank you for all the incredible things you're doing in our community, making it a better place for all of us. So thank you very much. As I was kind of collecting my thoughts for what to say here, I was kind of thinking about my own journey. I first got interested in substance use disorder because I grew up in Pittsburgh. I graduated from Langley High School in the West End, really proud Mustang. And, I graduated in 2010, like I said, and we've lost too many folks to addiction. And that's what initially inspired me to get involved. But, as I've been on this journey, witnessing people's healing journeys every day, like the secretary said, recovery in action. It's really made a huge impact on my healing journey. I'm in recovery from an eating disorder, and it's seeing people's wisdom come out in their day-to-day lives. It's just really enormously impacted me. And, you know, something that it's great to be recognized for the path supporter role, because I really believe, you know, many of us, it's incredible to be here with so many different groups, people coming at recovery from different perspectives, because I think it's so important. We have a shared set of values of helping people find freedom, happiness, and healing. And I just think it's so important to recognize the power of diversity, bringing different perspectives together, building coalitions around shared set of values. So it's really a privilege to accept an award that's recognizing that effort. And it's something I'm incredibly passionate about. And I'd like to just end kind of building on something that George said and something that Secretary Wetzel said about not defining people by challenging things that happen to them. One, you know, we face some trauma in this profession, and it's easy to kind of fixate on that. But I think we know that in groups like this, by reducing stigma, we can save lives. But I think another thing we don't think about as much with reducing stigma is it allows us as a community to tap into the collective wisdom of people who are doing a lot of work, hard healing work. And that really is going to enrich our communities when we stop stigmatizing people and open up to listening to the lived experience of others who have a lot to offer us as a community. And so I'd like to just end on that, and again say thank you to my fellow award recipients and everyone that's with us tonight and putting this event on. Thank you all so much.
Brian, George, and Lori, thank you so much for all the great work you do. And to all the other nominees, we are so glad that we get to recognize you tonight. Now we want to take a moment to remember someone we have lost recently, Karen Berg. I actually had the pleasure of working with Karen Berg, alongside Karen Berg, and she was a true visionary of change and education that we all need as a community, as a justice system, as a provider, that we have to be open to new opportunities, all the pathways of recovery, and the legacy that she left behind will be carried on, and we'll continue to do the work that she was focused on and the changes that she wanted to make. We have this remembrance of her, and before we show it, we would really like to invite those of you who knew Karen to share a message on social media or support on social media. We're going to collect those and compile those messages and pass those along to her family so they can have those forever.
Wow, you know, Alex, it's always sad to lose someone in life, whether they are struggling in recovery and struggling for recovery, or whether they have been in recovery for a while. It's always sad to lose someone that you know, who's been so much a part of this supportive effort for recovery. And my condolences to you and to Karen's family and to those who knew her and loved her. And my condolences as well in all the years that I've worked in the field of substance abuse and chemical dependence. We've lost a lot of folks. We've lost a lot of good people to this disease and to this illness. And it's important for us to continue to remember that although we lose folks, sometimes there are things that we can do in terms of being connected to one another and supportive of one another, and that we can also do in improving various aspects of the system of care to make losses hopefully unnecessary. We have posted a full interview on our website in regards to Karen for those of you who would like to know more about her, where she talks about her experiences with addiction and recovery and why she believed in the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk and supported it so. On our website, we have also posted a GoFundMe link to support Karen's family. I hope you all go there and as you can and are able to support this effort. GoFundMe link to support Karen's family. Thank you.
Yeah, Kurt, as a treatment provider, that's, the thing we don't want to see is the loss of a life, and it's what we battle every day with and battle every day for. And to lose somebody with such a great voice and a real idea for change is it's truly heart-reckoning. And so with that being said, we're going to move on to some resources through our virtual resource fair. For those of you who have been to the Recovery Walk in the past, you know that we usually have a giant resource fair that has a bunch of organizations and different programs. And it's a great place to meet people, learn about new programs, and just get connected with your community. This year, of course, we're doing things a little bit differently. We're going to see these programs and hear from these programs live over Zoom, and we encourage you to connect with these programs, ask questions, reach out if you can. We also have a resource line here in Pennsylvania that we're sharing with you on the screen. It's a 24/7 hotline that you can call. It's 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-HELP. Again, if you or someone you know have questions or are seeking treatment in your community, please, you can call that number 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, when it comes to the local programs, let's hear from some of those programs now that support a variety of ways for recovery.
Do you have a drug problem? Are you feeling isolated?
Narcotics Anonymous, never alone, never again. We can help.
Contact the East End Area Narcotics Anonymous at eastendarea@gmail.com, through our website, eastendarea.org, or follow us on Twitter for more information, twitter.com/eastendarea. And you can always call the helpline at 412-391-5247.
Hello, recovery community. I'm Jen, and I am so excited to be on this walk with you today. Here at Family Link, we honor and respect all of you who are on this journey and all of those who support you. At Family Link, we provide outpatient drug and alcohol services as well as inpatient services for women. So make contact with us, connect with us. Connecting with our community allows us and you to be strong for life.
Hi, I'm Joanna, Program Director.
And I'm Dina, Clinical Director.
Here at Positive Pathways Drug and Alcohol Treatment Facility. We have 3 offices, Squirrel Hill, West End, and Cranberry. We offer intensive outpatient, psychiatric services, and medication-assisted treatment.
Click the link to our website for more information. And congratulations to the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk for 5 amazing years of celebrating recovery.
At Central Outreach, we are here for you on your path to recovery. Whether you're facing barriers to healthcare or just need a helping hand, we are always in your corner. Stop by any of our locations for Hep C testing and the cure if you need it. We have 3 convenient locations: North Shore, Aliquippa, Washington. No appointment necessary. Walk-ins are always welcome. We look forward to seeing you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Catherine Gadd with Allegheny County Department of Human Services, Office of Behavioral Health, Bureau of Drug and Alcohol. Thank you, Alex and Curtis, for emceeing the virtual event. Thank you, Jessica, for the kind invitation and for all the hard work you've put on making this all come together. For help finding a drug and alcohol treatment provider 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, please call the PA Get Help Now line at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. For non-emergency drug and alcohol questions, you can call Allegheny County Department of Human Services, Office of Behavioral Health, Bureau of Drug and Alcohol Services, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30 at 412-350-3328 or 412-350-3467 for text telephone services. If you're looking for drug and alcohol and or mental health resources, please go to the Allegheny County Department of Human Services website, www.alleghenycounty.us/human-services. Among the many resources you can find there is the Where to Call Guide, a downloadable PDF that gives contact information for mental health and drug and alcohol providers in Allegheny County. Thank you everyone for joining the 2020 Pittsburgh Recovery Walk, and happy Recovery Month, everyone. Where see my resources. Thanks, everyone.
Am I on? Yep. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Helen. I'm from your local needle exchange here in Allegheny County, but our services reach farther than that. I am the service navigator for Prevention Point of Pittsburgh. And first, I just want to say what an honor it is to be back at the Recovery Walk. This has actually been a pretty cool event. So thank you to everybody for putting this together virtually. I just want to say a couple of things about Prevention Point. First, I'm sporting our new t-shirt. I don't know if everybody can see it, but it's a Pittsburgh Pro, and it says, DEA's no harm reduction. And on the back it says Prevention Point Pittsburgh. We do have a few available. If anybody's interested, they can contact Katie at my office. You can find a link to our services on Facebook. It's Prevention Point of Pittsburgh, or our website, preventionpointpittsburgh.org. So what we do in harm reduction is, and how we support recovery is by, we treat current people who are using drugs by giving them clean supplies and kind of meeting them where they're at. And my role in Prevention Point is to help people into services that we don't offer. Mainly, I help people into detox, medically assisted treatment, inpatient, outpatient, sometimes make connections to places like Central Outreach and Power and all the other amazing providers that are here today. So if anybody is ever in need of services that we might be able to help you with, please come by and see us on one of our locations throughout the week. You can find our locations online, or you can call me. Can everybody see that? I'll leave it up there for a second. And my direct phone number is area code 412-758-4257. And you can come see me on Thursdays at the Fairhaven Church from noon to 3. We also have Narcan, and you don't have to be a person who's currently using drugs to come get our services or get a Narcan training. or if you have any questions. So thanks again. Thanks for everybody for doing this, and it really is an honor.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian. I'm with Smart Recovery. Smart Recovery, we're an evidence-based mutual aid group, community support group. We meet twice a week, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Basically, Smart Recovery tries to meet people. We try to create a non-judgmental place where people can meet together and just chat about what's going on in their lives. And we also try to integrate some of the evidence-based treatments for substance use and process addictions, like CBT, DBT, et cetera. We explore them systematically. It's also just a nice place to build some community for a couple hours a week. And if you want to find out more about us, you can just Google Smart Recovery Pittsburgh. Also, you can find us on Facebook. And I put my email and number here. My phone number is 470-263-5725. Just send me a text if you'd like to get involved. Love to see you. Thanks, everyone.
And that's the beauty of treatment providers here in Allegheny County. You know, we're going to put our cell phones up and we're going to tell you to call us. We're going to tell you to text us anytime you want to talk or if you're interested in treatment. And we really want to emphasize that all these programs have a very diverse resources to help support people no matter what stage of addiction or recovery they are in. Now we're going to welcome back Jim Donovan to hear a little bit more about why he supports the walk. And he's going to play another song for us. So it's a good time to take a break, to stretch, but don't go too far. Right after Jim Donovan, we're going to hear from our amazing keynote speaker, Stacy Brown.
You are absolutely right. I saw some posting about Jim's band, and that was some great hard rock and blues. It was awesome. And you know what? It's also nice. I can see a lot of you had done some very interesting walks, and it was good to see some of you walked in some very interesting places and at some other recovery events that was going on today. Keep those things coming. In a moment, we're going to hear from Stacy Brown, and although many people know her, she really needs no introduction. But I want to just say to you, like you have been doing on Facebook and have been posting, it's been really great to see those photos come in and some of your statements come in and some of your support for other folks in recovery. We often hear that saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it also takes a community of support in recovery to support folks in recovery and to cope with the issues of stigma that prevent people from getting help for addictions issues, substance abuse concerns, as well as other mental health issues regarding depression and anxiety and sexual abuse and so forth. So with a village of support and with all the connections that we hope the Recovery Walk is suggesting and promoting for you, we would like you to continue this effort through participating and supporting events like the Recovery Walk. So continue to send your photos and comments of your first personal recovery walk to us so that we can share them on the screen, live stream tonight in social media. So tweet them, post them on Facebook or Instagram, chit chat, fat chat, face chat, email, whatever. Send them to us directly so we can put them on there and show other folks that we are supportive of one another and we are all really in this together. We want to see you showing up for recovery at a time when it's more important than ever. And use our hashtag MyRoadPGH, to help us find you. And now I have the pleasure of introducing Miss Stacy Brown, our keynote speaker. Stacy Brown is a person in long-term recovery herself and is an overdose survivor, thank God. She is a certified peer recovery specialist and a certified family recovery specialist. How about that? And man, every day she works to get Narcan into the hands of people who need it. That includes their family, their friends and loved ones, their peers, and to help people navigate the systems of care to find their own path and pathway to recovery. Stacy, welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stacy, and I'm a woman in long-term recovery. I need to say that this is an honor and a privilege, and I'm so emotional to be asked to speak at the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. Most of my adult life, I have struggled with some sort of substance use. It didn't matter. For the longest time, I battled with demons inside of me. And I'm not going to sit in front of you today and talk about what substances I used or how I did that. What I am going to tell you is about my pathway to recovery. Unfortunately, my beginning started within the criminal justice system. And my God felt that I needed that at the time. You know, I remember walking around for the longest time, not thinking that I fit in, not thinking that people wanted me around. But truth is, I didn't even know who Stacy was. I didn't know what my favorite color was. I battled with a childhood fantasy. I would seek out attention. You know, my addiction actually started in relationships, if you want to get honest. And like, I started chasing relationships and I started looking for something to make me feel like outside of me. And so obviously that didn't get me nowhere. I ended up with a very, very bad heroin habit. And, you know, I grew up in a decent family, and I had parents at home that loved me, and I had friends, but I didn't have Stacy. It took me a long, long time, a lot of work to get to know who the real Stacy was. See, my pathway to recovery, I ended up in a 12-step program, but prior to that, my pathway was through jail and MAT. I'm a product of Suboxone. I started my pathway to recovery because I couldn't do it. I overdosed over 8 years ago. I have children. You know, I had children then. I don't want to lose anybody. When I first got arrested, you know, let me just start there. Like, I ended up in Allegheny County Jail. I ended up as an adult with no high school diploma, no college education. And my family still was in some support of me. I got out, and they put me into program. I did program after program after program. And each place was like a bus stop. Like, I was riding on this bus, and every time that I went to a program, I picked up a couple more bits of information. And it led me to get to a spot in my life where I knew I deserved better. You know, I met some of the most strongest and wonderful people in 12-step recovery. People that loved me till I could love myself. But I remember when I first, you know, I got introduced to recovery just about 20 years ago. I have a little over 8 years in recovery. It took me a couple bumps on my head. I was going to say something else, but you know, if you're struggling and you're trying to get this and you just think that you can't, just reach out. The hardest part for me was to ask somebody for help. But that bus that I was on and all them little stops, people started to care about me. And so when they didn't see me for a couple days, they reached out to me. If you know somebody that is struggling, or you know somebody, just call them and check on them. So I made the decision to get into 12-step recovery. And I tried it, and it's a fabulous pathway for me. And I had, I don't know, almost 2 years at that time, clean and sober. And I made a decision to give that up. I needed to do some more research. See, I'm also a product of continuously researching things. So I ended up back in the county jail yet again, except for this time there was no family. And I met a guard that worked there, and she said, you know, you got something in you, but you need to start believing in Stacy. So she helped me obtain my GED, which I would have never had. She believed in me. It was that one person. And so I come out and I said, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to try it. I'm going to listen to what everybody said, because you need to know that I self-will a lot of things, and I do my own thing. So I thought, and I gave it a shot. And I came in and I started to attend meetings at that time. And I did things that I was told to do for different reasons, not the reasons they told me to do it, but for my own reasons. And, you know, I have 2 children today. I had an older child that my parents raised. And so when I said, that's it, I'm done, I'm not going to do this no more, I'm not going to detox in the county jail ever again, I'm going to do this. And I came in to the 12-step program, and we always laugh because, you know, I relationships, told you I struggled with them really bad. So with about 9 months, I met my husband, and we decided we're going to do this together. We're going to be Mr. and Mrs. Recovery, and we're going to do this. And we did it for a while. And I had another child. And everything was great. But one thing I stopped doing was taking care of me. We have to take care of us. You know, we can remove a substance and it's great, but we got to take care of us. I have to take care of Stacy. I can't expect nobody else to. That was hard for me. You know, my mommy and daddy, I want people to take care of me because I'm a caretaker too. And so I had acquired some time yet again, and almost 5 years this time. And I made a decision. Wasn't nobody's fault. I made the decision. It was the hardest yet easiest decision I made to return to use again. And I started to use yet again, except this time it wasn't fun no more. This time it wasn't no high heels and makeup. This time it wasn't none of that. This time I was so emotionally beat up, and knowing that there's a different way out there. There's a whole different way of life. And so I had a young child. I couldn't just pick up and go inpatient to treatment because my parents raised my first child and I couldn't let them do that again. So I made a decision. I talked with my sponsor at the time, and I talked with my husband, and I talked with my support, and I said, I have to start this. And I did. And if it wasn't for starting my process when I did with MAT, I wouldn't be here today. I would not. I died. I was revived with the one thing I train people to do on a daily basis. I was revived with Narcan. I don't shut my cell phone off at night because I'm afraid I'm going to miss something. I don't want to die. And so I started my path yet again. And I made a decision a little bit into it to enter back into 12-step recovery. And has it been easy? Absolutely not. But let me tell you where I've become. I'm a faithful wife today. Couldn't have heard me say that 8 years ago. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I was able to be in a room with my baby girl while she gave birth. 5 years before that, she didn't want nothing to do with me. I was able to start working at a place I was able to recover in. Onella gave me a shot, put me through trainings, helped me become a CRS. People believed in me. See, that's what we do in recovery. We believe in each other so they can believe in themselves. They helped me. I became a CRS. I became a certified family recovery specialist. I was able to help people. And I helped people, and sometimes it took over me. But as long as I kept my own work up on myself, you know, many, many doorways open when we just give ourselves a chance. I have an office today. I now have a job that I help train individuals on what saved my life. But I have an office today that has a door and a window. And funny thing is, that window looks directly at the jail. I'd have never been here if it wasn't for people believing in me. Like before, when you would see me, I'd say, I'm so blessed. I got a car and I got a house and I have a nice husband. Today, I am so blessed because I have Stacy. I have me. I have great friends. I have a wonderful program that I work very hard, and it's not perfect. It is by far perfect. But I make a decision every day to not put a substance into my body. Because as long as I do that one thing, no matter what, I beat myself up. Self-stigma, please know. You are so important. If you made the decision to get on Suboxone or Vivitrol or Subutex or Methadone, you be proud of who you are. I had so much self-stigma because I didn't feel like I fit in. So I found a group of people that accepted me. There's meetings out there for us. There are people that will accept you no matter what pathway you take. Just please, if I can say one thing, just please find a pathway. We don't have to die today. We don't. I just got a phone call today that a girl that has been in the program with me since the beginning passed away. Beautiful, beautiful girl. We don't have to. I'm living proof. Like I see that sign and I think of it all the time. A person like me, I was homeless. I was running East Ohio Street, not knowing where I was going, not bathing. And now I'm working with people that respect me. I rub arms. I have to share this. Maybe within the first month at this new job, I was so proud of myself. And I shared that I came from the county jail, and I'm doing this training and I'm training probation officers. And it's me. Hi, me. I'm the one you chased down. And it's me because I believed in myself. It's possible. It is so possible. You know, I was so nervous leading up to this, and I kept thinking, it's your story. I am so proud of myself. I get so emotional when I talk about it. My family is in my life. You know, my husband, my children, people want me around, and not just to get I just copped up the street. You know, my husband and I, we tried to do that together, and we had to do, my recovery and his recovery, and it's so possible. It's so possible. I mean, you find one person. I keep saying that. I linked on to my sponsor and I said to her, you are going to help me. And she laughed, and she does. She's still my sponsor through many, many revisits back to using. But she's believing in me. You know, I can say that whether your pathway is through MAT, or if it's spirituality, or if it's holistic, or whatever it is, and you need help finding that pathway, please. My name is Stacy Brown. I'm on Facebook. Please reach out to me. I'll walk with you to your first 12-step meeting. I'll sit with you while you make that phone call. I'll make the phone call with you or for you. Nobody has to die today. We don't. This gift of recovery I get so excited. Even now, just, I used to drive down the street, and I'm going to end very soon. I used to drive down the street, and I used to think to myself, I'd ride past people's houses, and I'd wonder what they're doing inside, and what it was like to decorate for Christmas, and what it was like to be able to go into a store and not have to steal. I don't have to do that today. I decorate my house like the Griswolds because I'm so full of life. Like, recovery is an awesome thing. It is an awesome thing. You meet some great people. Every day's not easy. It's not. But as long as you don't take a substance, it will get easier. And please, nobody, I keep saying this, we can all get this. And I have to say again to the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk, this was such an honor and a privilege. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. Like, it's truly a fantastic journey. And I want to just thank everybody. And please, if you're out there and you need help, please reach out to somebody, anybody. And thank you very much.
Stacy, thank you so much for all the hard work you do. I've worked with you personally. I see your dedication, the care, the compassion that you show to everybody. You make treating and helping and seeing people in recovery a part of your life, and I celebrate you for that. And I can't thank you enough for everything you've done, everything you do, and everything you will do. And I want to encourage everybody, please. Stacy mentioned it. She has Facebook. Reach out to her, congratulate her, celebrate with her, And like Stacy said, reach out to your loved ones, maybe someone you haven't talked to in a while. Reach out to them, ask how they're doing, celebrate with them. And that's what it means to be in a community in addiction. So Stacy, again, thank you for everything you've done.
Absolutely right, Alex. Hey, and you know what? We saw you, New Kensington. Thanks for sending in your post. Also, folks on the north side, what's happening over there. And we also heard from Johnstown, PA. So keep those posts coming and that media stuff coming in. We appreciate it. And also reach out, as it was mentioned earlier, to our brothers and sisters in Squirrel Hill who are Jewish for the New Year's today, Rosh Hashanah. And thanks for posting in on us as well. Now we're going to hear from Dr. Kara Roselli, the Clinical Director of Substance Abuse Services and Behavioral Health Integration at UPMC Health Plan. UPMC Community Care. They all have shown so much vision and support from the very beginning of the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. And it started way back in 2016, and they continue to support it. Dr. Roselli has 10 years of research experience and 15 years in leadership roles in research, clinical training, and also the business operations at Western Pennsylvania-based treatment providers for substance use disorders. It's important that we acknowledge our system of care and the work that various people do within that system. Without some of the science and research that have been done in the area of addiction and addiction disorders, we would be floundering in many ways. And I think it's been helpful, and I've learned over the years that there's a combination of science, intuition, art, and intuition, and spiritual support that makes recovery possible. Dr. Roselli's interest are in implementing and sustaining science-based treatments, overdose awareness and prevention, and population health management. So now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Roselli to share a message of support.
Thank you, Alex. I'm proud to be representing UPMC and UPMC Health Plan at this year's Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. We are pleased to be premier sponsors of this event. As a healthcare system, we recognize that substance use disorders are a chronic, treatable condition from which people can recover. Like any chronic condition, people with this disorder need treatment and support to achieve and manage their recovery. Over the past 15 years, new insights about the brain's biochemistry have led to safe and effective medications and better behavioral therapies for substance use disorders. Unfortunately, the stigma surrounding these disorders prevents many people from seeking the treatment they need. At UPMC, we take our role in helping individuals and their families on the path to recovery very seriously. We are committed to providing unbiased information about prevention, treatment, and recovery that is timely and evidence-based to individuals and their families. We also recognize that every recovery path is unique. The values, goals, and perspectives of individuals and their families differ. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to treatment and recovery. That's why National Recovery Month and related events like this walk are so important. By bringing people together and sharing success stories, we can reduce the stigma and spread the message that recovery is possible. Today's event highlights the contributions of so many people committed to helping others and the courage of the individuals and their families who have embarked on their recovery journey. It's truly inspiring, and I'm honored to be a part of this celebration of recovery. I'd like to thank everyone who is participating in the Recovery Walk and thank the Institute for Research, Education, and Training in Addictions for making it possible for us to stay connected and celebrate this year's Recovery Month.
Thank you so much for your message of support, Dr. Renzelli. We appreciate everything you do and all the research you've done and the continued fight you make in battling addiction. And now the time has come where we finally get to see those videos, those photos, and everything you've sent in for your recovery walk. So let's take a look at those photos and videos. That's Jess. She took it outside.
Well, now this is the last dance before the end of the world. Better move it like you never did before. Don't be afraid that it's okay. Every end begins a new time. Now this is the shake-up. Let's get it out everywhere. Hear the drummer jumping on your front porch. When they play us, it's okay. Every end begins a new time. Because this is the last dance before the end of the world. Better move like you never did before. Starting today, make a new way. Every end begins a new time. Come on. Every end begins a new time.
Hey, thank you, Kelly and Kylie. I appreciate it. Alex and I both appreciate it. And you know, I was checking my nails out. No one made any comment or reference in the posting that was sent in about, they talked about Stacy's nails, but oh well, I guess I need to eat a little bit more calcium or something. Anyway, it was really wonderful to see so many faces out there and people being open about their own experiences in their recovery and to celebrating themselves and one another and supporting this recovery effort. And before we hear from our next two speakers, Mr. Joseph Green and Ms. Bethany Hallam, we're going to take a few minutes and a few moments, I should say, to hear about some local resources that support recovery and have been involved in this fight against anti-stigma and community support. So we're going to go to some efforts and local resources for recovery right now.
Hi, I'm Becky Ludwig, Senior Director of Integrated Services at Adagio Health. To further our mission of providing quality health care to all, we've implemented a screening procedure to assess the entirety of our patients' needs, including substance use and mental health concerns. Encouraged by our patients' feedback, we've integrated 2 behavioral health clinicians into our medical offices to assist with short-term needs and treatment referrals. To learn more, visit adagiohealth.org. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danita Benjamin Miller, and I'm the Executive Director for Sojourner House and Sojourner House Moms. Sojourner House was founded in 1991, and we provide a safe place for women and children to heal from substance use disorders. And it's long-term treatment, which means 3 to 6 months of care. For Sojourner House Moms, we provide a safe place for families to heal from chronic homelessness, substance use disorders, and or mental health. And we also have our 1-year transitional housing program for women in early recovery. Please find out more at www.sojournerhousepa.org. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Stacy Brown. I'm the Overdose Prevention Outreach Coordinator for the Allegheny County Health Department. I want to let you guys know that we have a resource brochure. I'm going to put the link up. It's bit.ly/Allegheny Recovery. Please, in this brochure, we have ways to obtain Narcan, which, as we know, is a life-saving medication that helps reverse an overdose. We can come and do in-person trainings or virtual trainings. This brochure has ways to get into treatment. We have harm reduction access in here. We have all of the centers of excellence are listed in here. Any bit of information you need that refers to substance use. Again, the link to get to the brochure is bit.ly/Allegheny Recovery. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Dr. Leslie Slagle, and I'm the COO at Power. Power specializes in providing treatment and recovery support to women with substance use disorders and related emotional health issues. We know that addiction affects women differently, and we provide treatment that addresses their unique needs. Through our halfway house, outpatient treatment, and mentor program, we work with the women to build a strong foundation for long-term recovery so they can lead successful, fulfilling lives. You can find out more about Power on our website at power-recovery.com, or please call our Power line at 412-243-8755. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michelle with We Connect Health. It's an honor and pleasure to be sharing our resources with you all, and thanks again to everybody at the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk for everything that you do. If you aren't familiar with We Connect, we've developed an app for your mobile phone for people in recovery. We Connect's relationship with SUD is very personal, as our co-founders are in long-term recovery themselves. We understand that recovery affects everyone differently, so we're offering free recovery services for folks that live or get treated in Allegheny County, Philadelphia, and Westmoreland counties, as well for their family and loved ones. You can sign up today to get free one-on-one family and peer recovery support services. You'll also get the We Connect app so that you can earn up to $90 in 90 days for free for sticking with your recovery. You can email me at the email address above, or you can visit our website at wec.health/PRW. Thanks so much, and we can't wait to continue to support you and our vibrant recovery community.
Hello.
Go for it, Bridget.
Sorry, guys. Hi, my name is Bridget, and I'm an alcoholic. I am here representing Pittsburgh area AA. Just to put it out there, if you have an alcohol problem or think you might have an alcohol problem or just curious, what we do is Pittsburgh AA. Our resources, you can go to pittsburghaa.org. You can also call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have a helpline. There's somebody always available for men and or women. Their number is 412-471-7472. And my name is Bridget Kellick. My number is 412-628-8992. If you have any questions or you're afraid to go to a meeting or want somebody to go with you, please feel free to reach out. You can also find me on Facebook, and it's a great way to get started in a program of sobriety.
Go for it, Ben.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ben. I'm a representative of Recovery Dharma. We are a Buddhist-inspired path to recovery for addiction of all kinds. We practice meditation, mindfulness, and the Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path on our path to recovery. So if you're interested in that, visit recoverydharma.org, and I have some information up here. You can contact me at my email address, or you could send me a text or a phone call, and I'll give you any information we need. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kat Pieser. I'm the Director of Operations of Sage's Army, which is a recovery community organization located in Westmoreland County. We have a recovery center in Greensburg, and headquarters is located in Irwin. It was founded in 2012 by Corman Capozzi and his wife Cindy after the overdose death of their son Sage. We have a 24/7 helpline, which is on the poster board that my daughter made. Sage's Army is focused on the families primarily, and we serve the individuals. The phone number is 724-863-LIFE. It's 24/7, and it's manned by certified recovery specialists and volunteers. You can check out our website at www.sagesarmy.com, and you can check out all the events that we have at the center, all the groups offered for grief, family, and the individuals that we serve. Check us out. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Kat, and thank you, Sage's Army, and thanks everyone who took the time tonight to join us on Zoom and reach out to the community, talk about their program, talk about what they offer. We really do have so many great resources in our community, specifically here in Allegheny County. Next up, we get to hear from a national recovery speaker, Joseph Green. We are so glad you've joined us tonight, Joseph. Joseph Green is a professional storyteller, an award-winning poet, and a person in long-term recovery. He has spoken at recovery events all over the country and has worked closely with the national group Faces and Voices of Recovery. We are so proud that we get to host such an important person in the national recovery movement. Joseph, if you're ready, I will hand things over to you.
You're on, Joseph.
May we lost causes find, at the height of our sobriety, that which we could not find at the bottom of our addiction. Salvation was never there. Trust me, I looked often, and with the thorough eye of a man willing to face anyone except his own truth, my truth, a relentless and unforgiving lover who always refused to assume the role of mistress. She would lay with me when I thought I was alone, sit next to me on the train when I thought I was running away. And if I adjusted the frequency just so, I swear I could hear her whisper, "I can set you free." She was there the day I sat shaking in the corner of my drug dealer's kitchen, waiting for him to fall asleep so that I might creep into his stash spot and place a Band-Aid over this bullet wound of an addiction. She was there the day the man who welcomed me in like a son said like Christ to Judas, "I know it was you." Selfish son with sinister intent and sinning fingers, stealing from his cash register, his money, his trust, but somehow never his faith. She was there the day my closest friend stopped speaking to me. He recognized the signs, had been through this before, and refused to be on the receiving end of yet another suicide note. She was there when I learned that what the world had taught me was a moral failing was in fact a disease, a poison passed effortlessly through the veins of my family tree. She told me on that day, never forget. Recovery is to redemption as love is to forgiveness. Where there is one, you will always find the other. We must fall out of love with punishing ourselves for the pain our actions have inflicted upon others. I'm sorry will only ever be a bucket of sand trying to smother a forest fire. And while apologies are an important step, if the universe is to ever extract the remaining usefulness from us, forgiveness has to be an olive branch we eventually extend ourselves. Let us seek to embody the spirit of St. Jude. Let us use this light and this life and these words as a beacon of hope for anyone who has ever considered themselves a lost cause. We fight for the breakers and the broken, for the damaged and the damagers, for the feared and the fearful, so they know that they are not alone, that we are all here hurting and healing together. We fight for the millions we lost, for the families searching for purpose amongst lives extinguished far too soon. We fight for the communities that have been ravaged by a system that have too long punished the crime instead of treating the disease. We fight so that we might make the world as we would have it be. Not just by knowing what we are fighting against, but by knowing and never forgetting what we are fighting for. Amen. What's up, Pittsburgh? How you doing? My name is Joseph Green, and I am excited to be here with you today. I am right outside of Washington, D.C., and you heard all of the things that I do, but let me introduce myself as I do when I'm in these spaces. Hi, my name is Joseph Green. I am a father, a husband, a son, an educator, a mentor, a friend, and I'm capable to be all of those things because I am a person in long-term recovery. I'm here because I am a storyteller, and I not only tell my own stories, but I work with many organizations around the country, prevention and recovery, to help people use their voice, use their stories, because I find that storytelling and stories create the greatest connection between people, and pulls back the mask and pulls back the veils that we wear as we are out in the world. And as we fight this fight to remove stigma from this disease, from this place that we are, where we are trying to help our loved ones, I find that sharing our story is one of the best ways to accomplish that. So I share my story, and I share it through poetry and, you know, good old storytelling. I only have a few minutes tonight, so I'm going to move into my next poem, but I'm going to preface it with a small story. Because what's important to me is that people find whatever their poetry is. This is the story about how poetry saved my life. A year into recovery, I get a phone call. A friend of mine has passed away. And so I go back up to New York for the funeral. I go to the funeral, and after, I'm faced with a choice. As is the case, unfortunately, a lot of times in the world of substance use disorder, when we lose one of our own, if we have not found a way to deal with pain that is constructive and not destructive, we often try to make ourselves feel better by doing more of the thing that killed our friend. So I had a choice. Do I go to the bar afterwards with everybody else, or do I go back to my hotel room and write down this line? Now, I've been in recovery, seeking it. I had a sponsor, and one of the things that I was told was, you have this gift and this love for writing. When you feel overwhelmed, get it out, put it down on paper. That's the healthy way to deal with it. And so I'm there at this crossroads, and I know that in cases of people who haven't used in a very long time, that if you do use, your body has gotten over it, and you don't know what could happen in those cases. And so I had my life saved that night by poetry, literally. I went back to my hotel room, and the line I had been thinking about from DC to New York was, the last time I saw you alive, I wished I would have talked ugly to you. The last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. Said, put the straw down. No, I don't want to write another line. Excuse me, I don't want to take another line. I should be writing them. My friend, you are a composer of music and magic. Instruct your limbs to serve a purpose greater than self-indulgence. Do not be fooled into thinking your pain has sharper teeth than anyone else's. I had a chance, but said nothing because I was high. This is how I got started. A bottle of Jack and a mirror, memories and scissors, dreams drenched in ether, sliced by razors, potential roll like $20 bills, numbing the feeling on the tip of my tongue that I or this tongue should be serving a greater purpose. In a last-ditch attempt at self-assessment, I decided to look at my life through the eyes of loved ones, for they see everything, especially the ugly. From years of drug use, from lying with to lying to, angels, friends I had forsaken, taking so much more than I had given. I had streamlined self-centeredness into a science, but there was a righteousness there, a willingness to craft this illness through alchemy and poetry into a seer stone. But honestly, how could I speak ugly to you when I was yet to speak it to myself? In these nightmares of hindsight, there is no poetry, no alliterations to soften the blow. Some realities have no simile. Truth is like truth. How could I form my lips to call your suicide a tragedy when I left you alone in that room? Kept company by narcotics and 1,000 ghosts draped in your disappointments. I can only imagine all the voices you heard, all but mine. Smear makeup onto disgust if you must trust. The truth is seldom pretty, but she is always beautiful. It is in times like these that I need you to please talk ugly to me. My pain needs it. Too many times we caress sadness when it needs to be shaken, torn from its place of comfort, forced to grow wings to survive. Don't just tell me I can grow up and be whatever I want. Tell me that whatever I want better be something I am willing to achieve, that dreams will dissipate under the weight of addiction, and that there is a distinct difference between living like a rock star and actually being one. Sometimes, no matter how many poems you've written, you are just a poser. Fear not. We are all divinely flawed individuals, perfectly ugly. There's no point hiding behind pretty lies. We are the sum of the hideous scars that hold together the remainder of our pretty pieces. The last time I saw you alive, I wish I would have talked ugly to you. It would have been the most beautiful thing I never said. Thank you.
Yes. As we say in the church, in the black church, yes, sir. Preach words in spirit to power. Thank you so much, Brother Joseph, for those words of power and inspiration and spiritual movement. Felt like I already started my Sabbath already tonight. Thank you so much for that message and for joining and being with us and sharing the word with us tonight. We're going to see and some more of all of you who went out and honored your own stories today by doing your own recovery walks and expressing your celebration of recovery and your support of recovery in your own way. Let's see some photos. And remember, if you have photos or messages that you wish to share that you haven't had a chance to share yet, now's the time. Keep sending them in. Use the hashtag MyRoadPGH to help us find them. You will share them on social media, and we'll share them as well, and keep doing the important work of fighting for and supporting yourselves and each other and your loved ones in recovery, and fighting against stigma against those of us and those out there who have issues with addiction, and supporting their families who are also supporting those in recovery. I don't know how you kept up with him.
Yeah.
My whole body shakes 'cause I see a cardiac event. And I can't feel my feet and my adrenaline in its spike. When you eye into me, I was on my defenses. And I'm feeling like I'm gonna jump out of my skin. Here I am, where you are, getting crazy. Here I am, where you are, all the time. I gotta move now, getting on before somebody sees us. I come here over here and get closer than ready to show. Oh, when your eye moving to me like I was your partner. And I'm feeling like I never wanna find a way out. And I am where you are, naked and brave you. And I am where you are, love is enough. And I am.
So much for submitting those great photos. We'd love to see you guys out in your community during Recovery Month and celebrating with everyone. I want to introduce our final speaker for tonight. She's an important voice for recovery in Allegheny County, Bethany Hollum. Bethany Hollum currently serves on Allegheny County Council, and she is a person in long-term recovery. Having spent time in Allegheny County Jail, one of her big priorities is reforming of our criminal justice system. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Bethany. Thank you for joining us tonight, Bethany.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bethany Hallam, and I'm the Allegheny County Council person at large. But I'm also a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorder. And this year, on August 26th, we celebrated 4 years of recovery. When I think back on the past 4 years, it is so wild to think about where I am today. And that's why I'm so excited to be here with you all tonight, sharing my story of recovery and hearing from all of you as well. So a little over 4 years ago, I was sitting in a jail cell in the Allegheny County Jail. I was at the absolute lowest point of my life. It wasn't my first time in jail, not even close, but it was hopefully my last. And so I want to tell you a little bit about how I got there, but also, and most importantly, how I got here where I am today. So my junior year of high school, I was playing lacrosse. My parents' theory always was when I was growing up that if I was involved in sporting activities and different extracurriculars, that I would stay out of trouble. And it worked, you know, for the most part. I mean, I, you know, was never an angel, but I did keep on the straight and narrow for the most part. I got decent grades and, you know, had a great group of friends. And who would have ever thought that it was actually my love of lacrosse that started me on my path to substance use disorder. So again, my junior year in high school, I was playing lacrosse and I tore my ACL and meniscus. So yeah, it sucked, but you know, who knew that was just the beginning? So I was prescribed prescription opioids for that injury, prescribed some more prescription opioids for the surgery, prescribed some more prescription opioids for the physical therapy that followed for months. After that was all finally about to wrap up, I finally got cleared to go back to sports, was on my last refill of my Vicodin prescription. I went back, senior year now, playing lacrosse, and I tore my other ACL and meniscus. Same injury, back to back, less than a year apart. So again, the cycle started over. Prescription opioids for the injury, more for the surgery, and more throughout physical therapy. Altogether, I was on prescription opioids for about 18 months. And I mean, I took them as needed. My mom's a pharmacist, and so she always held my prescription whenever I needed them. I would go to her and she'd give me some. It was never that I was sneaking them or abusing them. In our eyes, the eyes of myself and my family, I was taking them as the doctor told me to. Now this was 2006 and 2007, and so there wasn't as much known about substance use disorder and how prescription opioids can lead down that path like there is now. And so, you know, I think it's our job to tell that story. It's the job of people with lived experiences to tell how dangerous some of these things that we've considered mundane can actually be. So finally, after about 18 months, the doctor cut off the prescription and, you know, we thought everything was back to normal. And I really just felt like crap. I mean, I remember just my body aching, my hands getting clammy, and just not feeling like myself. I was tired. I wasn't my usual, as you can tell, energetic self. And so, I had a friend who I was explaining to, like, I just don't know why I feel this way. And he said, oh, you're going through withdrawal. Here, take this. And he handed me a prescription painkiller, but it was not my prescription. And so that was really the start of my path towards substance use disorder. That was really the beginning of my experience. And it was only downhill from there. So from there on out, my friends and I, we were all now taking pills for fun. And while it was fun, a lot of it was really just maintaining. A lot of it was really remembering how horrible I felt when I was going through withdrawal and just never wanting to feel that again. I loved the energy that it gave me. I loved the pick me up, but it was expensive. And so I graduated high school. I went to college. I went to Duquesne University, so I stayed here in my hometown, the greatest city in the world. And because I was in the midst of that battle when I went to college, the people that I met in college, the friends that I made, were folks who were also taking drugs as well. And so that was the group I fell into, and that became my routine. I would wake up in the morning, I'd use drugs, I'd go to class. I'd get out of class. I'd use more drugs so that I could go to work. I worked a full-time job all through college so that I could make money to support my drug habit. And then again, get off work, have money, buy more drugs, use them, wake up in the morning, and I'd start the process all over again. And it got to a point where it wasn't even conscious. It was just such a routine that this is just what I do. And if I don't do this routine, if I miss a day of work, or if I, don't perform at work and don't make enough money, then I don't have the money to last me to get through the next day. So it was this constant stress and anxiety and frustration of making sure that I could get by. So after a couple years in college in this maintaining in this cycle, I gave a friend money to go get me some pills, and they came back with heroin. And it really wasn't even a thought that crossed my mind like, oh, it's heroin. It was just, oh, okay, this is going to serve the same purpose. I hate hearing from people without lived experiences who think it's like, oh, this was a choice that people make. It's not a choice that you make. It's surviving. And it's maintaining, and it's getting by to the next day and hoping that there's a next day. And so from there on out, heroin was my life. It was my family. It was my friends. It was my partner. It was everything that I did revolved around heroin. And, I never, ever expected anything good to come of my life. I was in and out of rehab, in and out of jail. Multiple interactions with law enforcement that didn't result in jail. I lost my driver's license for a total of 10 years. I actually just got my license back this summer for the first time since I was a sophomore in college. And so it's just, a lot of it was a blur because, again, I was, actively using drugs all day, every day. I was told heroin was cheaper, but so quickly it became even more expensive than pills ever were because of the amount I was having to use to maintain the level that I needed, that I was used to. And so around 2014, I fell asleep in my car. I nodded off in a parking lot with my car running. I woke up to the Westview police pounding on my windows, shining flashlights in my eyes. Apparently the gas station manager thought I was dead, tried to wake me up and couldn't. And so that was the first time I, ever got any serious charges. And by serious, I mean, more than something that I wasn't going to be able to just talk my way out of, something that I wasn't going to be able to just walk away from a night in jail, and something that I wasn't going to be able to just get some community service or pay a fine and it would be over with. And so again, at this point, my relationship with my family was so strained. I had stolen my mom's engagement ring and sold it for drugs. I had repeatedly stolen my brother's video games and electronics and sold them for drugs. I had lied to my parents over and over again to the point where I wasn't even welcome at my house. Sometimes when it was cold, I would sneak in through a window in the basement just to have somewhere to sleep because I wasn't allowed to be there. I was living in a car, at a rest stop, at Walmart parking lots, anywhere just to have somewhere to sleep. And so this DUI I thought was going to be my wake-up call, right? Okay, Bethany, you're in kind of serious trouble now. Again, it was just like anything else. I woke up the next day and went right back to my routine. So about... throughout all this time, I was talking about rehabs and treatment and, just doing whatever I could, to please my parents, to try to bridge those relationships. And it got to a point where I was prescribed Suboxone as part of a recovery process. I never used the Suboxone, but I did sell it to support my heroin problem. And so little did I know, 8 months later, I'm on house arrest for that DUI that happened. And I'm sitting outside smoking a cigarette before I went to work. And all of a sudden I hear a car wreck. And so I walk out my street. I live on like a double dead end. Okay. Walk out to my street. I'm back at home at this time. And I see two police cars wrecked into each other on the corner of my street. And I'm kind of like, how do you even manage that? And before I could think, hey, maybe they're here for me, I hear them screaming my name and running up to me. They arrested me, took me to jail, never told me what I was being arrested for, only told me that they were the DANET, the drug task force. And so I sat in jail. And this was the real wake-up call, little did I know, because this was the first time that I was sitting in jail with, no bail, because I'm on probation, right? I was on house arrest. All the money in the world, all the pleading, crying to my family wasn't going to get me out this time. I had a detainer, and I was really, at the mercy of my probation officer. So anyways, I do get out on strict, zero tolerance was what they called it, probation. I get out waiting for trial for this case. I go to trial, and I had, I come from a great family, middle-class family in the suburbs, so they had the money to afford a lawyer. My parents got me a fantastic lawyer, and my parents, because of their support, I was ended up, charged with multiple felony counts, multiple misdemeanor counts, because we ended up finding out that I sold my Suboxone to a police officer, an undercover police officer. You always say, how could anybody sell drugs to a cop? How dumb could you be? But you say that until it happens to you. And so... Anyways, I ended up getting that because of that lawyer. I got the felonies were dropped. I ended up taking a plea deal to a misdemeanor possession charge. And again, zero tolerance probation. I was still using through all of this time. I just wasn't ready yet. And so for about 8 months until August 26th of 2016, I was cheating my weekly drug test by using someone else's urine. And on August 26th of 2016, the other person's urine failed. And I was taken straight to jail, and this time it was a wrap. I had had all my chances, and I was stuck there. No idea when I was going to get out. And so, after a pretty shitty detox for about a month, my mind was clear, right? No drugs, no alcohol. I mean, not even nicotine was influencing my brain. And I looked around this jail, and I realized that so many of the people who were on the pod that I was on were in there for the same reason I was. They weren't criminals. They weren't bad people. They were people who were in there because they had committed crimes of survival. Whether that was possession of drugs to maintain a habit, whether that was selling drugs to maintain a habit or support a family, whether that was stealing from a store to feed their children, whether it was squatting in an abandoned house so they didn't have to sleep outside. These people just needed resources and services to help them. And I realized that this system was failing so many of us, especially those of us that were struggling with substance use disorder, and I didn't want to tolerate it. And I'd always had an interest in politics, but drugs were my whole life. I didn't really have time to get involved in the way that I wanted to. But if you remember what happened in 2016, presidential election happened when I was sitting in the Allegheny County Jail. And, the results of that, to say the least, were not what I had expected and not what I had wanted. And so when I was released from the Allegheny County Jail in January of 2017, I was determined to do something. And I was so fortunate to have the best mentor in my life who had stuck beside me through the years of chaos that my drug use brought. And he came to my house and he was like, listen, you're not going to sit here and feel sorry for yourself and let your life wither away. We're going to do something, and we're going to do it together. And it was really like that smothering of love and support from my parents, who now we were in family therapy together to work out our issues, to my mentor who was like, you're not sitting there, going to get up and we're going to do something about this. We're going to make sure that your life has the purpose that you deserve. To my siblings, who I had been such an embarrassment to for so many years, for a decade. And everybody was there to love and support me. And, I get goosebumps right now just telling you all about it, because really that was the turning point for me. As much as I think it was the jail, as much as I think that was my rock bottom, it was really the love and support that started my process to recovery. So I went to the very first Women's March, downtown Pittsburgh, 2017, and I was just surrounded by so many people who were ready for change. And not a single person there knew about me or my past or my story, because it didn't matter. We were all in this together, and we were ready to fight to make the world a better place for everyone. And I know that sounds so cliche, but that is truthfully the motto that I live by every single day. You know, I often feel guilt about my recovery. I feel guilt that I get to experience this amazing life. And so many friends that I battled substance use disorder with along the way, so many of them are gone and don't have this second chance that I have. And so every day I'm going to use this second chance to fight for the people who don't have anyone else to fight for them. That's why I ran for office. And the reason I won was because I told my story. I was honest. I was upfront. I was me, myself, day in and day out. That was the most important thing to me during my campaign, was that I lived a life of lies for over a decade. And I was tired, and I was ready to stop doing that. So I was me. You know, I wasn't pantsuit stiletto female candidate. I was Bethany. I was ripped jeans, sneakers, and a t-shirt, going into these rooms with these experienced political operatives and politicians and establishment people. And I was being myself, and I was telling my story. And all I can ever hope is that by telling my story, that no one else has to struggle in silence like I did. That no one else has to lose their life to this horrible, horrible disease. I don't work a 12-step program, but I will never, ever, ever tell anybody else not to. I tried it. It doesn't work for me. It didn't. I tried it. Trust me, I wish it would have worked for me, but it didn't. But I have so many friends whose lives have been saved from 12-step programs. I have so many friends whose lives have been saved via a religion, via a church. But that's not for me. And that's okay. That's okay if that's not for you. That's okay if that is for you. What I'm here to tell you is that recovery is possible. I am walking, living proof that recovery is possible. 4 years ago, I was sitting in the Allegheny County Jail, and today I am the Allegheny County Council member at large. I represent 1.3 million people in the 7th largest legislative district in the entire country. And why do I have that? It's recovery. Recovery gave that to me. Recovery gave me my family back, gave me my friends back, gave me everything that I could have never imagined. Everything is because of my recovery. And I'm so excited to be here celebrating it with you all today. And I hope you all know that nothing is impossible. Your past does not preclude you from anything in your future. All that matters is that you believe in yourself and you have a method of recovery that works for you. And so I promise I will never stop fighting for any of you. I will never stop fighting for all of those friends that are still actively using drugs, and make sure that they have the protections that they deserve to ensure that not one more life is lost because of the disease of substance use disorder. And I think that by coming together at events like this, that we truly can end the stigma and work towards making sure that not another person is lost to this horrible disease. So thank you so much for having me here with you tonight, and know that the fight continues every single day. There's pain that uses you, and there's pain that you use. And the pain from my struggles is the pain that I use myself to power me through every single day. And I hope that inside all of you, you find a way to take that pain from all of your struggles, whether they were personal struggles or struggles of someone that you love so much, and you use that pain to make this world a little better for everyone who lives here. Thank you all for having me here tonight.
Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, Bethany. If you missed any of her message, please go on the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk website, and you can see her whole interview and complete. And we thank you again for coming with us. We're grateful to have you here and all that you've done to improve the lives of people that have been impacted by addiction in our area. Now, for our final portion of the evening, we've got more virtual resources for you. So I'm going to let our community groups take it from here.
Hey everyone, my name is Madhu, and I hope everyone is having an amazing time following along with the Recovery Walk live stream. We want to give a huge shout out to all the organizers of this event and everyone who is following along and participating. As we are apart, now more than ever, it is so important to come together to support the recovery community. As we know, recovery is a lifelong journey and takes a whole village, so it is so good to be a part of a community of providers here to support you. To those in recovery, you are so strong, and know that we're all in this together.
Imagine a world without tobacco, a world with healthier babies, a world where teens don't smoke or vape, a world where grandparents live longer, and we can all breathe easier. We can take that world from imagination to reality. Find out how to quit smoking or how to help a friend by calling the PA Free Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW or visit tobaccofreesouthwest.org/healthy choices. Tobacco Free Southwest is a program of Adagio Health.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Curnow. I'm with Washington Drug and Alcohol Commission. We're pleased to be participants in this year's virtual recovery walk. Washington Drug and Alcohol provides screening, assessment, referral, and funding to residents of Washington County who need substance use disorder treatment. Our vision is to ensure every individual has the opportunity to achieve and sustain optimal wellness. Our case management and recovery support services begin by meeting people where they are, both physically and in terms of their readiness to change. And our approach is collaborative and non-judgmental. It's a relationship that we develop with people in which their needs are met and barriers are mutually identified and agreed upon. And we form a plan of action. We co-develop it with the people that we work with. As clients, we frequently monitor the plan and we execute it in a manner that encourages the individuals we serve to take on increasing levels of autonomy until each of them ultimately achieves their own level of stability, health, and wellness. Our staff is caring, steadfast, and loyal, and they place the people on their caseloads as their priority every day. You can visit us at wdacinc.org. Happy Recovery Month. Thanks, Pittsburgh Recovery Walk.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sylvia with the Pittsburgh Poison Center. We are so excited to participate in the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. Our specialists are available 24/7 at 1-800-222-1222 for poison emergencies or if you have a question about a potential poison. The Poison Center recently launched a new hotline where specialists can guide you through the initial steps of starting substance use treatment. That hotline number is 1-800-755-3784. Follow us on social media at Mr. Yuck PGH or find our digital resources on the Pittsburgh Poison website. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You're on.
Hear me? Hi, I'm Rachel Bethany. I'm the community outreach specialist from Gateway Rehab. And I'm just proud to be here today. This is my first recovery walk. I'm also a NAMI member and a lifelong advocate for breaking the stigma. So if you don't know much about Gateway, we're a nonprofit organization that's been servicing the region since 1972. So we offer hope and continuum of recovery for those suffering from substance use disorder. Just a little bit about us. We have 11 locations across Western PA. That includes outpatient, 3 inpatient locations, our 5 outpatient locations, and then we also have 3 halfway houses for males and females. They also serve as an excellent resource for extended care. And in 2012, we also launched our newest facility, which is for long-term care. So that's 90 to 100 days. And our Westmoreland inpatient location is actually connected to Frick Hospital. So right now we are accepting those in need of recovery amidst the pandemic. We have taken the utmost precautions to protect the safety of our staff and most importantly, our patients. So you can learn more about Gateway at www.gateway.rehab.org. I'm going to go ahead and show you all the little sign I have here. We're also on Facebook as well as Instagram, and our main line is 412-604-8900. On here is my cell phone number. You can reach me anytime. And that is 412-335-9944. Or you can also reach me at rachel.bethany@gatewayrehab.org or find me on LinkedIn, and I'll put that information to the chat. It's been a pleasure to meet everyone. I really enjoyed hearing all of your stories of triumph and hope, and I look forward to working together to end the stigma.
You're on, Kate.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, friends. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening spending time with each of you. I'm Kate Lowry, and I work at Beaver County Behavioral Health in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. I'm the single county authority administrator, and in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, each of our 67 counties has a single county authority entity. And what that means is we are the recipient of federal and state block grant funds that are awarded to each of our respective counties. And we are charged with the responsibility of setting up a system of care for all members of our county who may be in need of services for substance use disorder. So each single county authority provides free level of care assessments for anybody who would need an evaluation. We also have the funding to fully or partially fund people for all levels of substance use disorder treatment, and also all forms of FDA-approved medication-assisted treatment. We also provide overdose prevention and free Narcan, and we work very closely with local hospitals to provide case management services through our warm handoff program for people who are coming into the emergency departments in a state of overdose. So your single county authority is a wonderful resource. Please feel free to contact me at klowery@bcbh.org, and I would be very happy to connect you either to our services in Beaver County or to your respective county, single county authorities, and to help you and support you in your recovery. And again, thank you so much for this privilege to spend this time with you this evening. This was wonderful, and each of you is an inspiration. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you to all those great programs for sharing a little bit about the resources that they offer at their organization. You will be able to find those resources on the Pittsburgh Recovery Walk website sometime here in the near future. So we're excited to, again, have those providers and share the information. So we're now coming to the end of the first live stream Pittsburgh Recovery Walk. Tell us what you think. Let us know on social media or by sending us an email. And please, don't hold back. Hold back. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like, and it'll help us on a go forward and how we can do better in future events. Now, I've been standing 6 feet apart from Kurt this whole time, so how do you think we've done, bud?
Hey, just wanted to let everyone know that both Alec and I have our masks, and we did wear them, and we've been wearing them around the studio today during the course. Just wanted to let you know that we are 6 feet apart, and we are socially distanced and practicing that during the whole live stream. And I just wanted to let you know that we are respectful and cognizant of all of us trying to be safe in this COVID-19 pandemic situation. But you know, this has been different in terms of looking at generating and celebrating something virtually. And I've done a number and participated in a number of virtual events, and it is different. It does feel strange. But one of the things that doesn't feel strange to me is talking about recovery. and talking about addiction and chemical dependence. It's something that I've devoted most of my life to, and have family members who have been involved in service and who have been struggling and successful and sometimes not so successful regarding their own challenges dealing with addiction. So I do understand, not just having been formerly a provider and a clinician, but also just as a human observer of the pain and destruction chemical dependency and addiction can cause. And so to be here today to celebrate the fact that recovery works and people are successful in their lives who engage in the recovery effort and who have support around them through family, friends, loved ones, and folks like you who are co-peers in this whole issue about supporting others regardless of what their disease or what their disability or what their problem may be. So I feel good about being here tonight, and I'm pleased that I was asked to participate, and I hope that everyone had a good time. And like Alec had said earlier, please send us your suggestions, your thoughts about how this went, how you felt about this event tonight. Let us know what we could do differently, how we might make this a little bit more exciting for you. This may be the new normal, and so we may have to look at how we can better engage you in supporting our efforts and how we can support your efforts better, utilizing this new issue about virtual communications. So let us know, and thank you all so much for sending in your Instagrams, your Facebook posts. It made us feel good in that we were all in this together inclusively. It all takes a community to support one another in recovery. So thank you all for your participation.
Yeah, Curtis, and thank you again, guys, for tuning in with us for our first ever live stream event. We did an amazing job on me and Curtis's end, at least we think so. And again, we want to thank all these great programs, all these great organizations that came out tonight, shared their information. It's a really great thing and the great community we have here in Allegheny County and the great providers that we have in Allegheny County to help so many different people. And I think we need to continue to advance and learn and be open to changes in order to help more people and support more people. So to leave us, we have Jim Donovan and the Sun King Warriors to play us out. Good night, everyone. Stay safe, take care of each other, and happy Recovery Month from all of us. And please don't forget, wash your hands, and like Kurt said, wear your mask.
6 feet apart. Good job, man.
Thank you. Good job,
Julian, sorry.